Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Treasure Travel. And here is her story. Hey, Ollie. In this letter, I write about an assortment of examples of conversations with my mom to better illustrate how she is always contrary. As you will see, it was impossible and exhausting to have a conversation with this woman. The Little Shaman Healing YouTube channel just posted an article about NPD people being contrary, which gave me additional insight and made me want to write about this aspect of my mom. Somebody who just has to disagree with you no matter what. There's a lot of that going around. The contrary conversation is just another gaslighting technique that narcissists use to try to erode your self-esteem by creating drama and trying to start a fight and make you second-guess your decisions and your sanity. As children, we were not allowed to have opinions, or anything we said in self-defense was called back-talking, sassing, and it resulted in punishment. Now as adults, it's still impossible to have a conversation with narc parents. We can't have a pleasant adult conversation with them because they have arrested emotional age of 3 to 5-year-old. Conversations with crazy. As a teen, not a day went by where my mom did not scrutinize what I ate, make a dig about my weight, and try to draw me into an argument. This was projection from my mom. I used to drink Diet Coke when I was in high school. My mom came up with a routine, negative conversation about that, and it always went something like this. Whenever I was having a dessert-type food, she would start in, "Why do you bother to drink diet soda if you're just going to have ice cream? It makes no sense to have Diet Coke with a handful of pretzels. I guess that piece of cake cancels out your Diet Coke." After ignoring her for many years, I finally explained that I drank diet soda rather than real soda to cut down on the sugar, and in fact, it did cut down on my sugar intake regardless of what I ate. Yeah, and I like the taste of it. And it's a stupid amount of calories. And it's a stupid amount of calories to drink regular soda. It's just unnecessary calories. And don't start on me by aspartame. Find me somebody who's died of aspartame. Find me the little, "I drank diet soda and now I have cancer," with sad music white lady that normally is trying to get me to give to some dog with a pencil in its eye at 3 in the morning. The diet soda thing is a scam. I'm telling you. They want you to be fat. They want you to be fat. That's just my opinion. It was only when I moved away to go to college that I no longer had to listen to her attack me about diet soda. Later in my life, my mom decided to obsessively rib me about tea. I drink a lot of unsweetened green tea. Whenever my mom would visit my house, she would launch a negative spiel at me every time I made a cup of tea. Here are some quotes from her. "Wow, you sure waste a lot of tea bags. Your father and I use one tea bag for a whole pot of tea, and usually use it the next day. Well, that's nasty. I can't believe you use a whole tea bag for a single cup of tea. You sure like to waste Greg's money. Must be nice to have so much money that you can waste so many tea bags." Understand that she would go on and on like this multiple times a day on every visit. I ignored her for years. Yeah, that's how my mother. That's how my mother is. You know, whether it's, "I'm the only one who works around here. Must be nice. You got money. Oh, new car, new shirt, new this, new that." Fuck off. I would always take my green tea with me when visiting my parents' house in another state, and I would preemptively announce to her that I bought my own bag, so I was not using any of hers. The best line from her I can share about the tea bags and money is, "Wow, you sure waste a lot of money on tea. I use the same tea bag over and over, even when I use the same piece of dental floss for weeks. Oh, I even use the same piece of dental floss for weeks." I bet you don't use the same piece of dental floss over and over, and that you waste dental floss just like you waste tea bags. Ugh. Did it ever occur to you that your mother's just cheap? Not necessarily on herself so much. You know, they do these things that are actually detrimental. Because who is she really hurting? By reusing tea bags and reusing fucking dental floss. Herself! You nasty bitch. You nasty bitch. Listen, my mother used to have a thing with reusing fucking tissues and napkins. She fucking I told you this. There were snot rags everywhere. In her car, around the house, around her bed. She just hawks them and leaves them for later, I guess. Because you don't just blow your nose in it once or wipe your disgusting mouth in it once. You want it to sit around and save it. Come back to it later. There might be a surprise in there. You might have been saving it. Who does she hurt by doing this? Herself. You nasty bitch. Like, what else are you going to do? You got to laugh. And yeah, she doesn't even realize her passive aggressiveness is actually hurting her. To this I said, that's great, Mom. Just shove that bacteria back into your gum line, all to save 4 cents worth of dental floss. Good for you. You win. Yeah, 4 cents worth of dental floss and thousands of dollars worth of dental work. This is what they'll do. They'll end up costing themselves more money to cheap out to make a point to you. To this I said, that's great. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I told you that, on the contrary, I never waste tea bags because I am specifically brewing my fresh tea and strong in order to get the amount of EGCG, which is thought to be an anti-cancer agent, and I want that because I am terrified of getting a reoccurrence of breast cancer. Cancer Talk did finally shut her up about my tea drinking. How about I just like a fresh cup of fucking tea? I don't want to keep re-dipping the same fucking tea bag. Ugh. Ugh. The only thing I would do is save the second tea bag and put it in with the fresh new one. That way I could get even more fucking tea out of it. Ugh. Yeah, watered down tea. That's like my fucking idiot fucking mother with like colored juice. Yeah, we would have high C and all that shit. She'd sprinkle enough of it to basically change the fucking water so you'd have red water. And it tasted like nothing. That's why a fucking thing of high C would last the entire goddamn summer. Jesus Christ. Here, take a bump of high C. People would drink the fucking drink, and I would hold, because I would just go, like, is there anything in this? What an asshole. Organic produce has been yet another thing of criticism. I bought all organic produce for my kids growing up, and my mother noticed that. Every fucking time I would open the fridge or cut an apple when she was visiting, she would say, I don't know why you waste your money on organic produce. You don't know if it's organic or not. How do you know it's really organic? You're getting ripped off because you're a sucker. You like to spend Greg's money, and so on. My mom knows that me and my generation are passionate about the environment, in contrast to her and her generation. She always criticizes that about me and always tries to get a rise out of me by saying stuff like, they stopped logging in that forest because of the spotted owl. I say the hell with the spotted owls. Too bad if they go extinct because of progress. I never react to these stupid remarks. My parents have to pull a cabinet that holds a bin for garbage and a bin for recycle. Oh wait, they have a pull-out bin that holds a bin for garbage and a bin for recycling. Their neighborhood has been recycling for 25 years, but my mom makes a point not to recycle, even though it would be so easy for them to do so. Your mother's also probably the type that decided that didn't wear a seatbelt for years after it was the law. Thinking like, oh, well, if I drive into the lake and I can't get out, I'll drown. Meanwhile, she probably should have been launched out the fucking windshield. It's them being told, look, the narcissist never wants to be told what. And what all these things are to your mother is you telling, the reason she's reacting like this, because she's looking at it as you telling her what to do, you trying to be better than her. And nobody tells the narcissist what to do. They don't tell me to buy organic fruit, to use multiple tea bags, to reuse dental floss, and you're sure as shit not going to tell me to fucking recycle. Fuck you. No one tells the narcissist what to do. That's where this is all coming from. Sees you're doing anything different as her as disobeying her. You getting her to do something, and she sees that as a personal attack on her. Everything different you buy, everything different you do, everything different you use is an attack on her. That's how she sees it, because she's nuts. Whenever I have visited, I have put a bag in the recycling bin, and I always put the bottles in there when I clean up and tell her that I will take care of the recycling. So what she always does is she waits until there is a lot of recycling, and then she pitches some kind of fit in the kitchen about something unrelated. And then to show her anger, she aggressively pulls open the cabinet, grabs the recycling bag, and makes a dramatic show of dumping it into the trash and mixing it with her hand to prevent me from recovering the bottles, and says, "There," in a sing-song voice. Who is she hurting? Think about this. She's digging through garbage, mixing garbage with her hand. Because you're not going to tell her what to do. This is all you heard fighting back of you telling her what to do, basically. This has occurred 3 times on 3 separate visits. Mom thinks she's being clever and rattling me, but I just refer to this as a 3-year-old recycling tantrum. When my daughter was a newborn, I told my mom that the pediatricians all recommend that newborns be put to sleep on their side, since there is a correlation between young babies laid on their stomachs and sudden infant death syndrome. Well, in almost every consideration after that, my mom would try to argue with me. In one conversation, she said, "Is the baby sleeping through the night yet?" I said no, and that was her cue to launch into the following. "Well, that's because you don't put her on her tummy to sleep. She would be more comfortable on her tummy. It's your fault, and you aren't getting sleep through the night." After 5 more of these conversations, I told her I could send her a paper on the study from the New England Journal of Medicine, that if that would shut her up. I myself had looked at the graphs, and the data was good, and as a scientist, so I am qualified to read the graphs. Why am I needing to defend myself to this woman for being safe with my own baby? She's defending herself to you, because she sees everything you do as an attack, as she's doing it wrong, and nobody's going to tell her what to do. I recall at least 3 phone conversations in which I found myself on the defensive for having a cold. My mother would say, "How are you?" and I would tell her I have a cold. She would then always say, "It's allergies," in an accusing tone. "It's your own fault you don't address your allergies." I would then explain that it was a cold, as I could tell the difference, and that it was a contagious cold that was going around the elementary school, and that my daughter had it first and I caught it from her. I said, "Are you suggesting that if someone has a pollen allergy, then they can never catch a cold?" This stumped her, so she countered by saying, "Well, if you had addressed your allergies, then you would not be so susceptible to getting a cold." My mom's need to make me feel that I was to blame for having a cold is the epitome of being contrary for the sake of being contrary. No, because your mother knows she was such a shitty mother. She sees everything as you trying to be the opposite of her. So for whatever reason, she knows you probably had allergies that she never addressed. So anytime you get anything that could be confused with allergies, like a cold, there goes in her defense mechanism, having to put it back on you. There's a reason why she does all this. Okay, it's all defense mechanism related. Everything. The tea bags, the dental floss, the sleeping on ones on the side. She sees it all. All of it. All of it is you telling her she was wrong. Because she knows she was a bad mother. So now she sees it in everything you do. She saw it in everything you do. Every decision you made. She sees it as you telling her what a bad mother she was. Arguing for the sake of arguing was a turning point for me and is probably the main thing that started me gray rocking both my parents and simply not sharing information with them about me and then my new family. I did not know the term gray rocking 20 years ago, but I instinctively started protecting myself in conversations and calling them less and less. This letter is getting long and I am exhausted myself writing about my exhausting contrary mother. You can't make this shit up. Treasure Travel. Understand, Treasure Travel, all of this is a defense. All of this is a defense because she sees everything you do as you telling her what a bad mother she is. And you can't tell the narcissist anything. Ever. Understand where the attack is coming from. It's not arguing for the sake of arguing. It's arguing because she sees everything you do as an attack on her because she knows she's a shitty mother. She's not going to have it. She's not going to have it. You're not going to tell her anything, even when you're not trying to. So, hope that helps. Thanks again for another contribution in Story Treasure Travel. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email link in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.